Oh, hey, come in. Have a seat. I was just reading about my fish.
Hello, good people of YouTube. Welcome back to my channel. This is my dad, and today he's going to be giving us a tour of his mini fish tanks. Appropriately, we have the fish microphone because I wanted to be on theme.
Hang around. We've got a lot of good fish tales for you.
All right.
This is my experiment that turned out to be a success. It has some ghost shrimp in there. They are really interesting creatures. Now you can see the ghost shrimp are coming out right here. There are the adults, and here's itty bitty right there. And there's teeny tiny somewhere in there, and itsy bitsy.
Are those their names?
Well, yeah, you got to name them all. You got to know one shrimp from the other. So this is one of the moms that has been around a long time. And you can see they have really super long antennas. I don't know if you can pick that up in the video, but these adults have these huge sweeper antennas. Now these all started from 3 shrimp. I don't know how long ago it was, but I've had, probably a year maybe. And this colony stayed alive for that long. Now also in here, this is a live plant called Anubias, which I grew. This is one that Liana picked out, and it's a fake plant. But it's good because it provides a place for the shrimp to hide, and it also allows for algae to grow on the leaves.
So remind me of their names.
Itsy bitsy, tiny, and so on,
So you made them up on the spot.
No, you want to see itty bitty and almost didn't make it? Yes, I made them up on the spot.
How many shrimp do you have in there?
I've never really been able to count them all because the super small ones are hard to spot. But I think right now I have about 6, maybe 7. 1, 2, 3.
You said the funny numbers.
Yeah, 6, 7. Hello, I'm Holland. I'm dad for Liana, and she's a wonderful daughter. We've done a lot of things together, and one of them is keeping fish. So my mom, her grandmother, had given her a 1-gallon tank. So we got a goldfish, a small fantail goldfish to go in there. And the goldfish's name was appropriately Gloria. Just a love of the classroom. They all couldn't wait to get to class. They couldn't wait to take a look at Gloria, see how she's doing. That was a wonderful experience. And then when she got into elementary school, then we switched over to betta fish.
How did you get into fish?
Well, thanks for asking. I got into fish when I was pretty young. I was in 6th grade, and my science teacher in 6th grade had a 20-gallon aquarium. And then when summer came, she was taking them down, and I was helping. And I begged her, please, can I have that aquarium? And she said, well, it's an old aquarium and it might leak, but, I'm going to get rid of it. Here, you take it. So that was my first aquarium.
Why fish? Why not dogs or cats or other more popular pets?
Well, while I had an aquarium, I did have some dogs, and I did have one dog in particular, a Weimaraner, that I showed. But the fish don't have to be walked. You can buy automatic feeders, so you don't have to worry about getting them fed in time. There's some maintenance you have to do, but it's kind of on your schedule, so they're not as intense, but they are something all the time that takes time and attention. I think the biggest thing about keeping an aquarium is it's actually a living work of art, and that's what's always intrigued me with the aquarium over keeping other animals. Other animals I interacted with, the horses and dogs and so forth, but the fish, they're on their own, and you have an idea how things might work, and then you can try it and see if it works. And a lot of times it doesn't. And most of the time it takes time. It's not like a piece of art that you paint because it continually changes. So this is my 20-gallon aquarium. I've had the longest. What I'm going to do is I'm going to feed him some protein here. It's high protein. And I have 3 different kinds of fish in this aquarium. So this fish right here is a Rhineloricauria. And it's kind of in the whiptail cat family. And he's on Anubias, which is an epiphyte, which means that it doesn't grow in the soil. It grows onto things, and it absorbs what's in the water. So that's how it survives. The little fish that are moving really quickly are Nanostomus marginatus, common name pencilfish. They're the smaller than Nanostomus fish. And then also in here is a male apistogramma nasoni. And I have two of those. I have two fish, a male and a female. They're not a pair bond yet, so I'm going to have to see if they'll get along.
What's a pair bond?
So a pair bond in the apistogrammas is they are almost monogamous. The male will have a territory, and he'll maybe have a couple of females, or maybe just one, and they are together, and he guards the territory, and she raises the babies. So the reason why I say they're semi-monogamous is because if there's another female that's in the area, he may breed with her and then protect both of those.
I had no idea.
This is the South American aquarium, and so the water parameters in this match what are try to match what's in South America. So that would be a lower pH. In Central Texas, the pH is high. These fish here like below a neutral 7.0. So I have to treat the water or use RO water, reverse osmosis ionized water, in order for them to have an enjoyable environment. And that brings out the best in their colors and brings out the best in the interaction. This log is a Malaysian log. It was quite expensive because it has some air flight on it. This part is really dense, and then inside is an open cavern. And so sometimes they use the back of it, they dig it out so they can make the back of it an escape route. So the red lizard I put some bloodworms in there for food, and when it gets to the bottom, he's going around looking for the protein that is on the bottom. And so he's just kind of feeling his way around until he finds something. When I was younger and at home and not so busy with band and working on the farm and showing horses and all those activities that I enjoyed, I could keep the fish then. But then when I went off to college, I said, okay, I can't take any animals with me. So I didn't even take the aquarium with me. So it sat vacant for a while. And I think my older brother was responsible for finding a home for the fish. And at that time, I just had one fish. It was called the bullhead catfish. It was something that you can find in the local streams and rivers around here. It was 1 foot long.
Oh my gosh.
He had quite the temperament. If he didn't want you to come up and look at him, he would splash water out of the aquarium and go try to hide. And then if he was hungry, we would feed him meat, and he would come into the aquarium and just gobble that whole thing in one bite. And then he'd swim around with a big old distended belly until eventually his body absorbed that delicious food.
That's crazy.
Yeah, quite a personality, but
I didn't know that.
yeah, that was a long time ago. I don't recommend keeping those large catfish in an aquarium or even keeping them domestically. They need for better quality of life. They need a big home. They need lots of stream water, lots of water flowing by them, fresh oxygen, and that way they can be in their natural environment and enjoy life instead of being in a small environment where everywhere they turn is a wall.
Do you have any favorite types of fish to keep?
Oh, yes. I like the apistogramma, and I've kept several of those. The apistogramma nisoni, the apistogramma unotus, the apistogramma banshee. They're beautiful fish, and they can change their colors, or chromatophores, I think is what it's called, in order to attract the opposite sex or in order to be less visible, to be less obvious. And so apistogramma is a neat fish because when you go to feed them, they'll come up to the edge of the aquarium and they'll look at you or interact with you. They'll change their color sometimes depending on that. They let you know how they feel.
Perfect answer. Let me write that down. Do you want to explain about the pen? Oh, man down.
Okay, so my mom has always wanted to think of things, and she always thought of me and my aquarium and my fish. And so she got me a fish pen, which the tail goes, you put the tail on, so I could keep it in my office and remember her and remember my fish. By the way, there's no fishy business in this recording. So this is my 29-gallon aquarium, and this is one of my success stories that I have worked on. I'm about to feed them some protein, and then I have some of the other food as well for them. So these small ones are Hyphaesobricone, and their common name is Morris code tetra. You can see like 3 little dots on the side that get really light colored. Here is the neurite snail, are really good at eating algae and eating any of the stuff that gets to the bottom. And this is the Haplosoma habrosum. And then in the middle is the female apistogramma. She has some red in her, but you'll see predominantly yellow. The red is in her tail, but you'll see predominantly yellow and black. And when she's a mama, when she's taking care of her babies, she'll have that black line from her eye, and then she'll have really bright screaming yellow on her sides. She kind of keeps these fish kind of schooled up together like that. She relies on them. Here she is right here. She relies on them to know if something's happening. Like if I come in the room and there's fish swimming to the corner, she notices that and she'll come out and kind of like watch what's going on. Is this feeding time or not? So they work together. They keep each other informed of what's going on. The other fish I have in here is this Otocinclus vitetus. There's 2 of those in this aquarium as well. And they're algae-eating fish. They eat the soft algae. This Anubias and that Anubias all came from just a few leaves. These are cuttings that I have just continued to put on different objects. But you can see how fast that neurite snail makes his way around the tank when he's hungry.
What's the secret?
The secret is patience and then doing a lot of research and then a little bit of luck. So I would encourage you and everybody to consider keeping an aquarium and realize that it can be an enjoyment in your life. It can be a peaceful thing in your life. I've strived to have aquariums that are peaceful to look at. Fish that swim kind of slow, fish that are benthic at the bottom, fish that interact a little bit. But there are fish that are just constantly swimming around all the time and constantly chasing each other. And there's a little bit of tension that you'll feel when you look at that. So if you like activity and you like boisterous fish, that's for you. If you like a calm aquarium, that's for you. If you like fish that interact, that's for you. If you like to concentrate on plants and the fish are kind of like a little extra, they're not supposed to take away from that planted aquarium, go for it. I think that's a great opportunity to enjoy nature and to have a living work of art right in your home.
If you could leave our viewers with one thing, TLDR this video, what would you leave them with?
Enjoy life and enjoy things in life. Interact with life. If you can provide and sustain life of another creature, go for it.
That's beautiful. Did you just come up with that?
Yes, I did.
Really?